All right, boys and girls, in this video, we're going to go over Math Boxes 2-4 on page 43 in your workbook. You should have already done the math boxes on page 43, and this should just be to check your work. If you've not done them, stop the video, do it, and then restart the video. All right, let's look at number 1. It says circle the standard mass you would use to measure the mass of each item. Remember, we talked about mass is the same thing as finding the weight. Okay, so if I was, let's see here, let me read this question again. Circle the standard mass you would use to measure the mass of each item. So a centimeter cube, what would you use for a centimeter cube? That's that little teeny tiny base 10 block, not the tens block, but the little ones block. What would you say? Would that be like 1 gram or 1 kilogram? Now remember what we said in class. A gram is like a paper clip. A kilogram, do you remember me pulling out that big weight for the kilogram? That kilogram was more like your water bottle when it's filled up. So a kilogram is like a water bottle. So a centimeter cube, would it be more like a paper clip or would it be more like a water bottle? And of course, it's more like a paper clip. Okay, so centimeter cube would be 1 gram. A 1 liter bottle of water, well, I just said a kilogram is like a bottle of water, so you should have circled this one. This is what's important to remember. A gram is like a paper clip, a kilogram is like a water bottle. If you remember that, then you'll be able to handle these problems about mass when we're measuring with grams. All right, I'm going to erase this stuff to get it out of our way. Let's look at number 2. Round each number to the nearest 100. You may draw an open number line to help. It says you may draw, but you don't have to draw. So if it helps you, draw it. If it doesn't help you, don't worry about it. But you're rounding to the nearest 100. I'm going to circle the digit in the hundreds place. 224 is somewhere between 200 and 300. What is it closer to? Is it closer to 200 or is it closer to 300? Well, it's closer to 200 because remember, 250 would be in the middle. So 200 is your answer for that one. All right, let's look at 576. 576 is between 500 and 600. Now, what is it closer to? Remember, 550 would be in the middle. So 576 would be closer to 600. So that's your answer on that one. All right, let's look at number 3. Jalen has 5 bags with 10 apples in each bag. How many apples does he have in all? So this is a word problem. I like to draw pictures. If he has 5 bags and there's 10 apples in each bag, how many does he have in all? Well, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? 50 what? Don't forget about your units. How many apples does he have? So I'm going to label it apples. And it says fill in the circle next to the number model that fits the story. Look at what I was doing here. What number model fits the story? Well, when I'm adding the same number over and over and over again, remember that's multiplication. So I have 5 groups of 10. So this number model works for my problem. There's another number model that would actually work, and that is if I were to add each of these 10s up. 10 plus another 10 plus another 10 plus another 10 plus another 10 equals 50. So this number model also works. Okay, it's repeated addition. Repeated addition is the same thing as multiplication. All right, looking at number 4, I'm looking at a bar graph. It's about favorite seasons. So I see I have winter, spring, summer, and fall down here. And over here is telling me the number of children. Always pay attention to your scale. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What is my scale counting by? I'm counting by 2s. All right, let's look at our question. How many children in all chose summer and fall? In all is a really big clue that I'm going to be adding. I'm going to be adding summer and fall. So I need to add these 2. Summer, when I look across, that's 10 children. And fall, when I look across, that is 8 children. So when I add those up, 10 plus 8 would be 18. How many more children chose summer then spring. Let me get some of this stuff out of our way here so we can see it a little bit better. How many more children chose summer than spring? When you hear how many more, I've said this over and over again. How many more? How many less? How many fewer? How many greater? I'm finding the difference. When I'm finding the difference, I am subtracting. So I'm going to look at summer and spring, and I'm going to subtract those two. I have 10 in the summer, and I have 6 in the spring. And so 10 minus 6 equals 4. Or I could use this and say, well, I see 2 boxes there that's not filled in. Each box is worth 2, so 2, 4. All right, and finally, number 5, write a number story to fit this number sentence. 7 times 2 equals 14. You're to write a number story that fits it. Now, guys, think about 7 times 2. Remember what we said that multiplication symbol means. That means either groups of or it means rows of. So in your number story or your word problem, you should have written a problem that had 7 groups with 2 in each group. So maybe you have 7 bags, and then there's 2 of something in each bag. Maybe you have 7 teams, and there's 2 on each team. Maybe you have 7 stalls in your barn, and there's 2 animals in each stall. You should have 7 groups, and there should be 2 in each group. Maybe you have 7 rows. Okay, so maybe you're lining up your baseballs and you've got 7 rows of baseballs with 2 in each row. Or you have 7 rows of plants in your garden with 2 plants in each. Your number model should be 7 groups of 2. So if you did not write a number story with 7 groups of 2, go back and rewrite that number story. All right, guys, that's it for Math Boxes 2-4.